with all the education. He has done with all the education. Now he has got time for to go around. Same that way he can see the Ayodhya fully and understand. As for apart from Ayodhya, he went outside Ayodhya as well. He got permission from his guru, Vashishta Rishi, and his father set out his journey and the holy places in India. He visited all the holy places, returned to Ayodhya. Rama was 15 years old at that time, and his body was gradually emancipated. Rama becomes utterly delusional after experiencing the apparent reality of the world touring the country. So he was aware of his the place where he was born and all those things was good for him and Armane. And but he was also know about the schooling systems, but beyond that he was not aware of it. And now it's the first time he's looking at that. This and his disillusion of his worries Dasharatha. King expresses his concern to Sage Vasishta upon his arrival. Sage Vasishta consoles the king, don't worry, I will talk to him. So it is a dispassion is a sign of maturity, or a prince is now ready for spiritual enlightenment. He says that Rama has begun to understand a profound spiritual truth, which is cause of his confusion, and he just needs confirmation. Sage Vasishta asks Dasharatha to summon Rama, Bhagavan Rama. Then he is in the court of King Dasharatha. The sage begins the discourse to Rama, which lasts for several days. The answer to Rama's question from the entire scripture is called Yogavashishta. Now, let's focus on the denunciation of the body. So Rama keeps asking questions. Now we are in the asking question stages, and Vashishta has not started answering it yet. Rama continued to tell his concern after visiting Ayodhya and finding the sorrow, unhappiness, misery of the people. He focuses on the body, limitation of the body, and Nashvara Sharira, and its closeness to samsara. Body craves food, drink, fun, etc. It is like any divine qualities. Bhagavan Rama compares the body to a tree and a small life of tree. That means tree grows and tree dies. And also it just talks about the branches, focuses again on the nashvara of this body as well as the tree. Then he compares the mind into a monkey sitting on a tree, and it is restless, jumping from one branch to another branch and looking for foods and fun playing. The tree or body gives shelter to the birds, vultures as a body going to meet other bodies during the ocean of samsara crossing. Bhagavan Rama continues to detail the body as a boat as well to cross the ocean of samsara. Once the samsara is transcended by the body, then body perishes. Then he goes to the top of the body. Body seats are chitta, buddhi, manas, and ahankara. All this gets information from the Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. Mind is compared to a monkey, and the body is subject to birth and death. During the death, it deserts its own friends and masters. So that means once you leave this body, you're leaving out all these people. Thus, Bhagavan Rama is disgusted with the body and do not see any value with the body. Then he talks about the body, and then he goes to the stages of life, which is first stage is childhood. Bhagavan focus on each stage of life of human body and focus on childhood first. Although many people like us think that it's a fun time in the childhood, Bhagavan doesn't see that way, and because he says child is helpless, non-communicable, and dull-witted. Making noise, crying, and weeping is part of the childhood. There may be no reason for that. So mind of a child is distracted and looking for petty desires. It is 10 times more restless than the other stages of life. Cheating, beating, mistreatment of a child is a common thing in some areas, and there is no resistance the child can offer. This leads to further misery in childhood. So the childhood days are filled with the fear arising due to elders, parents, grown-up boys. How can I find anything desirable in the childhood? Bhagavan Rama asks Vashishta. The period of childhood abounds with ignorance and lack of discrimination. Therefore, O Rishi, I am desirous of renouncing the possibility of becoming a child again. I am desirous of attaining self-realization. Then he goes to the next stage of life is the youth, the evils of youth, he calls that. As everyone wants to go to the next stage of life, as we can always see that till some certain stage of life, we can want to go back. Okay, I can't wait to become grown up like that. But as they find less fun and more misery in the current stage of life. Although child looks forward for youth life, the portion focuses on attachment and hatred and moves from grief to grief. The mind is affected by desires like desires and greed and anger, kama, krodha, lobha, and there are considered the gates of hell. Bhagavan compares the youth to a lightning flash, where it comes and goes so fast, it comes with a thunder of craving and rain of sorrow. So he's very beautifully comparing as a lightning flash and then cravings to the thunder and sorrow to the rain. Youth lack inquiry and philosophical reflection of goals of life. A young man commits acts of violence and cruelty due to pride or ego. Just fire burns in the forest, fire of passion continues to consume the human mind. Again, the opposite sex is attracted at this age. Youth is like a forest, one numerous relations such as wife, son, friends, and dear relatives are like trees. All the grieving signs contribute to the wind and that blows through the forest. The serpents of the pain abides in the hollows of the tree. The mind is the basis of the forest. Youth is like a storm that arises a dust of cloud of rajas and obscures sattva. In the desert of the body, youth is a mirage. Human mind is like a deer, continues to run after this mirage, and it becomes trapped by falling into the pits of sense enjoyment. O Rishi, it's a rare to find the youth endowed with humility as a peaceful and hermitage of a saint and adorned with qualities of soul. Thus, I do not see any virtue of the period of youth either, and therefore I want to rise above the allurements. I do not wish to be caught in the baneful predicament. So here also Bhagavan Rama doesn't see any interest as he initially told that the body is Nashvara. Hari Om.
Very good. Thank you for a detailed summary. Actually, you don't have to be so detailed. Just said what the heading is, what the essence of that chapter is, because we will have read it just the week before. So now we go on to the denunciation of the sex and passion, what is the major part of our life during the youth. So we will see that one now. And after that comes the old age, how we suffer in old age. And so Lord Rama, though very young, he being uh, intelligent and being able to contemplate deep into what life is, and he has assessed all these things from little babyhood up till the time of death. So we will see number 21 now. Vijay, you want to read, sir?
As now the section 21, denunciation of sex and passion, Sri Rama continues. I do not see anything enchanting in the physical body of the opposite sex. This physical body is like a vehicle or a chariot for the soul. There is nothing tangible in it. This physical body is constituted of skin, flesh, blood, bones, marrow, and different limbs. If any part of the body is analyzed, it will lose its beauty and enchantment. Is there a physical beauty beyond the skin? What is the female's body but a conglomeration of hair, blood, fat, bone, and marrow? How can a man endowed with the discriminative knowledge run after it?
Yeah. You want to comment?
Yeah, he's again talking about he's not finding the
Where is he?
I don't know. He said 20, right?
opposite sex attraction to opposite sex at all. It's because if you look at holistically about the body, you can see something, but as the mind, we should start thinking beyond the holistic thing in the details of each thing, and they are a conglomeration of hair, blood, fat, bone, and marrow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if we you can look at the body two ways.
73 page 73.
The
73, Nagji.
page
Thank you.
73 in the new book. The chapter section 21 in the what we call the chapter of dispassion, Vairagya Prakarana. So you can look at the body in different ways. One, you can look at the body as the means for our spiritual growth. You can look at the other way, the body being used for pleasures in the world, and then that will take you away from the spiritual growth. That's what most of us do. And so here in a spiritual book, so then if you really want to look at the body as such a beautiful structure, then if you really analyze each organ, it is not just a conglomeration of different tissues. So the five koshas, if you want to look at it like panchakoshas, or if you want to look at it as various tissues, there is seven tissues: the skin, the subcutaneous tissue, the fat, the muscle, the bone, the marrow, the blood, like that. And if you analyze each one, there's no beauty in the any of them. So one has to analyze for oneself if you want to get to discriminate and use the body for the right cause. So there's one thing that we have to analyze and see. Okay, and Anjaneyulu sir, you want to read?
Yeah, Hari Om, Raghuji.
Hari Om sir.
This body that is adorned again and again with fragrant materials, special oils, and beautifying treatments becomes the foul food of vultures, jackals, and other carnivorous animals after his death. It is lack of discriminative knowledge that impels the human mind to run after pleasures of sex. It is passion that lends enchantment to the human body, which is devoid of beauty and charm. A passion-ridden mind becomes intoxicated at the prospect of physical pleasures. Passion intoxicates the mind even as alcoholic drinks.
Yeah.
So basically, uh, here it is given as the body is offered to the food for the vultures. So this reminds me of the Parsi culture where if somebody dies, they feel that body is useful. They're kept at a place where vultures can come and eat the body. So Parsis crematon is they keep on some mesh of iron mesh and all. They keep the body so that vultures can come and eat the body.
Yeah.
So that is their approach to rituals of cremation. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, but one has to keep on discriminating, and particularly when the hormones are kicking in the youth, the passion is so much. Unless you had blessings of the guru, the god, and your past spiritual sadhanas, it will be hard to not get attracted to the physical pleasures. So very good. And Akilama, I forgot to skip you.
Hari Om Raghuji.
Ayam.
Intoxicated elephant can be fettered to a post and subjected to various cruel treatments, and yet it won't be able to come to its senses. In the same way, though subjected to numerous afflictions, the mind of a person is unable to give up its intoxicating passion for sex. Fire is pleasing to behold from a distance, but is fatal when one embraces it. Even so, the pleasures of sex are delightful from a distance, but are detrimental when the human mind becomes involved in them.
Go ahead, read one more.
The subtle desires of the mind give rise to a perception of charm and beauty in the physical body of another person. When the screen of subtle desires is lifted, it is easy to understand that passion for the physical body is nothing but dry wood used to kindle the fires of hell. Whoa. Wow.
Lord Rama said that.
And he was only 15. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I can say how you can look at the same thing in two ways. One with passion, another one with dispassion. So, and as uh, if we had wisdom, this wisdom what we have during our youth when you got married and or when you were in college and all that, their life would be very different. So we will be looking at the whole thing in a more balanced way. And it's not that we go run away and become a sannyasin, but at the same time, we spend more time on a little more time on spiritual things and look at all our studies and our duties in more in the terms of karma yoga as an offering to Bhagavan. And use our grihastha in a more wise way. So that's how I look at it, looking back at my life, how it would have been. So, okay, Dinesh, you want to read, sir?
Starting with passion.
Yes, correct.
Passion robs one of one's health and mental peace. It is a snare spread of karma, desire, to trap the soul of man in the net of the world processes. Like a captured elephant, this human mind, fettered with the formidable chains of passion, continues to remain helpless. The immense strength and majesty of the mind are brought to a state of utter degradation. Just as the stable is a place of bondage for a horse, and the fastening post is the same for an elephant, so to the physical body of the opposite sex is a place of bondage for a person.
Yeah. Comment?
Yeah, like you mentioned, it's all physical attraction, and only with the right knowledge and the maturity and the blessing of the guru. Uh, Knowing all these things, still people fall and get in the trap. It's it's very easy to see that, but at the same time, if a person stays and maintain certain practices, I think they can overcome these desires. Hariom.
Okay. And anybody else want to comment? I see how that the desire continues to tie down our mind. So that's what is being beautifully said here. Unless the intellect, with all the discrimination, overrules the mind rules the intellect in most of the situations when the passion is strong. So, Karpagam, you want to read, Amma?
The body that was once so dearly loved now lies in the cremation grounds or in a grave, devoid of the loving attention that it had received from its loved ones during life. It decays, rots, and is eaten up by animals. What is there in this physical body? It is composed of the 5 elements. It is material in nature. How can this body be of interest to the God-word mind of a sage? Passionate desire, like the thorny bush, grows in the ignorance-ridden mind of man. It gives rise to the branches of dense entanglement and the bitter fruits of numerous miseries. This thorny bush continues to grow into gigantic proportions.
Yeah. Comment?
But once it's the body you love and take care of all your life, when you die, it's like it rots and it's eaten up by animals.
Yeah.
So
So how is it that our mind is programmed that a woman for a man, man for a woman gets so passionate with the physical body? If we just look at it objectively, hey, this is another person. But somehow that emotions, passions override everything, and the intellectual knowledge that this is just a body made out of different tissues, that doesn't, even if the mind comes, if it comes to the mind, it doesn't really stay long. So at that age. So particularly as doctors, medical students, we dissect the bodies and all that. We know the body so well, yeah, the whole microscopic structure and everything, but still that passion is still there. So, okay, let me see who is supposed to do next. Karpagam, Madhu Kukla is not here. Mano Naidu, you want to read, Amma?
Okay, Hari Om. The people in the Vindhya mountains lure male elephants into their traps by placing female elephants inside them. In the same way, the mind is lured by passion to become trapped in the numerous entanglements of the world process. Where there is passion, there is desire for pleasure. Where there is desire for pleasure, there is the world process. When passion is renounced, the world process is renounced. When the world process is renounced, there arise the experience of the bliss of the self. Human pleasures are as fickle as the fluttering wings of a butterfly. I am afraid of the repeated experience of birth, growth, old age, and death during numerous embodiments. I will therefore direct my mind towards the attainment of self-realization, renouncing passion and allurements of sex.
Yeah.
Okay, here the giving the examples of in the Vindhya mountains, how they want those male elephants to be trapped, but so they're putting the female elephants to trap them into there. And just same thing he is talking about our mind, how it is, lured by the passion to become trapped by numerous things, entanglements of the world process.
Yeah.
And then the process itself, the second para, giving that when there is passion, desire, when the desire is there for pleasure, there is a world process. So it goes on to get into that entanglement. But once the passion is renounced, the world process is renounced automatically.
Yeah.
When the world process is renounced, well, the bliss of the self will be there. And of course, Rama at the end, he's saying that I'm afraid of this repeated experience of birth, death, old age, and all these things in different embodiments. So he wants to get the attainment of self-realization.
Yeah. So he knows what he really wants, and so that's the great thing. Without what do you call it? Somebody teaching, that he knows what he wants. So that means he is a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna. So, Maya, you want to read the old age, Amma?
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Just as frost destroys lotuses, a storm carries away the drops hanging on the leaves, and a river in flood roots out the trees on its bank. So too old age comes to consume the body, a poisonous tablet distorts the body of person in a short time. In the same way, this old age comes to distort and deform one's body. When this body is deformed and rendered weak by age, it does not hold out any attraction for passion or sex. It is ridiculed by the young. So he's comparing and telling it furthermore about the what happens in old age, what how the body becomes and not anymore. When you become old, the passion of is not there, and then he's comparing the lotuses, that how they with the wind, river flow, roots up trees and so on. Maybe that's all I understood. Carry on.
Yeah. The body gets distorted from old age, and skin gets wrinkled, and our energy is gone. But like in Bhajagovindam, Shankaracharya says, but the passion has not subsided. The passion continues to be there for a younger body. And so that's very, very hard to overcome unless we specifically practice it. So with proper discrimination. So, okay. Nagarajan sir, you want to read?
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
When old age takes possession of a person, his intellect runs away, even as a woman driven away by a jealous, false mother-in-law. An old person is ridiculed by all his near and dear relatives, his servants and sons, his friends and relations, and even his wife, all begin to look down upon him. Just as a vulture takes possession of an old tree, so too this old age takes possession of the body. So looking into the previous sloga and this one, I think everything has an age and time to follow, unless the person is an evolved soul. At young age, we do certain things. As a youth, we do certain things. I think that is why we have that brahmacharya, grahastha, panaprastha, and varnashrama. So all those ashram are, I think, at that age, we have to do certain things. When you are at the middle age and above, then we have to follow all these things. That's what I think.
Yeah. So we'll continue on. So Rakesh ji, you want to read?
Craving, Krishna, which is the basis of all miseries, which abounds with humiliation and which is a source of great torment to human heart, continues to grow in the old age. An old person develops many humiliating sentiments. Who am I? What should I do? Should I stay quiet and avoid troubles? How should I perform any work? These sentiments torment the heart of an old person. How can I receive tasty food from the relatives? How can I receive their attention? These worries continues to burn like the fire in the heart of the old. They are continuing about the Trishnas and saying that the older we get, unless we really attach ourselves something good, because otherwise we'll the birth and death cycles. Because once we attach and detach ourselves from the body, then we are looking something to look for. Because you have not done anything in the life to start with, same questions: who am I? What should I do? And sometimes the older people get neglected. The family won't take care of it because they're kind of hard to hear. They can't see good. So even their kids, and not that much, no, they will take care of them, but they are kind of really tormented. They just feel hard and hard. And I can see that our grandparents in the house, no, because they're cared, but not as I thought they should be. So I think we need to really detach from the body and attach from the God, and that's the only way you're going to get a fulfillment what you want to do.
Yeah.
Hari Om.
Yeah. So if you have been a head of the house or head of a big family, everybody is paying attention to you, and your word was the final word when you were in the helm of youth. But as you become old and your children have taken over the management of the house and the business and all that, nobody is going to come and talk to you. The servants don't care, or the children don't care. If at all, if the wife, if he was good to the wife, the probably wife will be a little good to him. And so you can see how if a person, unless he has been following the spiritual path and has given up all these attachments voluntarily, intentionally, then naturally he will be feeling as if that he is left out from the world. So that's why all the fights stop. And Tejamananda Swamiji was saying, "Oh, my son doesn't ask me for anything, that he doesn't, he does everything by himself." How old is your son? He's 55 years old. So like that. In a 55-year-old man, you want him to keep asking you for every little thing. So.
Samavedam Shanmuga Sarmagaru says that sentence I never forget, that Trishna has to be there for Krishna, not for anything else.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, well, that we have to remember, paste it on our wall, in the bathroom, in the prayer room, and living room, refrigerator, so that we will remember that and practice it daily. So, okay, Rani, you want to read, Amma?
Hari Om, Raghuji.
Hari Om.
First, the crane of old age perches upon the tree of the body and finds it infested with the snakes of diverse diseases. And then the owl of death comes rushing to destroy it as if from nowhere. Just as evening is followed by increasing darkness, so too old age is followed by the increasing darkness of weakness and death. Seeing this body laden with frosty whiteness, death comes like a monkey desirous of destroying it. A city without inhabitants is not as desolate as a body in old age. Even a famine-stricken country is not as dry and dreary as one's life in old age. It's like a warning or a threat of old age. So now give up your Trishna, or this is what you're facing.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's so very vocal about the whole thing. Very well. Yeah. In English, Jyotirmanandaji has done a very good job in translating all that. He has not translated literally word for word. He takes the essence of each sloka and he composes this thing so well. So very good. Sudhirji, you want to read?
Yeah, Hari Om. Yes. A vulture utters harsh notes when he wants to eat a carcass. So too, old age seems to send forth its harsh notes in the form of asthma, cough, and other disease, announcing their intention to consume this body. Just as a child takes hold on the head of a lotus, plucks it out of the fun, so too, old age takes hold of the head of a person by turning his hair gray and then destroy the physical body. First, the cat of old age devours the rat of youth, then it becomes intent upon devouring the body itself. At this stage, the cruelty of this cat knows no bounds. It's just continuing what is that called? The sad state of the physical body, and of how it is actually going to be for an old person. I would say the person who's actually looking for happiness from outside, that is actually the key here, I would say. And when you try to, happiness on, from worldly affairs and, looking for companion from the world. And as Manoji said, look inside and find your God yourself. Otherwise, you're actually going to go through this.
Yeah. So how he compares the youth to the mouse and the cat to the old age, the mind. So it's a very interesting way of comparison.
That is because a rat is actually kind of running around quickly, and cat is actually kind of sit there, and the mouse, and nowadays, right? Cat is considered as a lazy animal, so that because it actually don't move around.
Right.
So especially nowadays, the cats,
Yeah.
cats don't really catch rats nowadays.
Okay. Ratnamma, you want to read, Amma?
Okay. There is nothing more inauspicious in this world than this she-jackal in the form of old age that howls in the forest of life. Like a burning log of wood, this old age continues to give forth the sound of sighs, coughs, and lamentable cries. Time is very cruel, stone-hearted, and miserly. There is nothing in this world which will not be devoured by time. A magician creates various objects by his magic and then destroys them. In the same way, this time continues to dance in the form of the world process, creating diverse conditions and destroying them. See how the old age brings sadness, and then the inefficiency of the body, one after the other, in the form of cough, and then, it is really kind of a stone-hearted, miserly. In this world which will not be devoured by time, everything eaten up by the time. Time doesn't stand. It keeps on moving and devouring everything in life.
You want to go out and finish the other two paragraphs?
I think she's jumped a page, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I did? I'm sorry.
You should really read page 79.
Oh, yeah, 79. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well,
those who were great heroes in the battlefield are overpowered by old age. There is no one who is not defeated by this dumbness, this old age. When the chill of old age overpowers this house of the physical body, the children in the form of the senses are unable to move about, being numbed with the cold.
Go ahead and finish the next two paragraphs.
Okay, old age with its tottering legs appears like a dancing woman who performs a joyous dance to the tune of the crackling of bones and coughing sounds from the throat. That's reflecting upon the limitations of old age. I do not desire to enter into the world of recurring birth and death. I wish to attain the termination of all miseries through self-realization. Here Rama is telling that how this physical body, with and when it is attacked by the old age, everything is becomes inefficiency even in life, and everybody ridicule the old age, and then the legs start shaking when you're old. And then, Rama says, this, I don't want to be born, and then I don't want to go through with death. And then the best thing is to realization, self-realization. That's what Rama's intention is, and he Hari Om. Hari Om.
Yeah. Once you realize you're not the body, then you don't care what happens to the body, whether it is youth or adult or old age. Then you look at the body objectively. So that's the most important thing that we are doing. So
Just one comment, Raghuji. This reminds me of the great heroes. Like Alexander supposed to be the great emperor. When he died, before he died, he wanted his casket to be carried by the best doctors in the world and his hand open and hanging, because even the best doctors in the world could not save his life, and he's not taking anything with him.
Yeah. I don't know why they called him a great. He couldn't control himself, so he wanted to kill people and control the world, try to control the world. And then the wisdom came late, too late. So, okay, Sarvesharji, you want to start, sir? The next one, denunciation of time.
Questions on that. See, okay, so when you get older and nobody is actually, we can't really move as we like, and we can't really control our passion, and passion, and we are actually expecting love from others, and nobody cares, and so suddenly you cannot just say, okay, just go look inside, and if there is we may have to have some practical way of handling this, right? Either you have to start very early on realization, or otherwise, right? For an old person starting this, right? We will not be, I would say, at least I would say I'm little, I think fortunate enough to meet you all and just give this, so at least I can actually prepare it. But my point is, when for an old person, how we will handle it. Say, for example, when I'm talking to an old person, say, so then how we should be giving advice to them. So suddenly you cannot say, right?
You want to give advice to the old people?
No, see, old people in the sense, the people actually who's actually not really introduced to this particular, what is that called, Siddhanta, right? So
it's too late.
I am here. You want to give me advice?
No, not to you. What I mean, see, the people who actually was not introduced. See, at least we can actually say, when you say that, say, wish to attain the termination of all miseries through self-realization, and at least whomever is in this class actually know about the self-realization part, but that is not the majority of the people, right? It is. We are lucky enough to be in this group, to just at least theoretically we at least know it.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the other people, right? So that is what I was wondering, how they will be,
Sudhir, you want me to say something about one of our friends' father who is 102 years old, and he had colon cancer and they did the surgery? This happened last year. And they asked him not to eat meat, how angry he was. And when they told him, you can't eat meat right now anymore. And he did not like that at all. So that is the person. What is it that you want to tell him? Yeah. I'm just asking you practically, unless the person has some sort of basic knowledge about this body and what is going on, how are you going to help them out?
Yeah, that is what I'm actually struggling with, because I know.
Yeah, that's what I am trying to give you an example of. This is a real example. We know that friend is very close friend of ours, and he didn't know what to do when he came back.
Why did they not want him to eat meat?
I think immediately not wanting to eat the
right
meat,
after the
and
surgery.
later on. probably.
later,
But
okay.
at that time,
Yeah.
they didn't want him to eat the meat.
Okay.
Yeah, people actually, even though people, there's a famous story there. One lady was actually like, I don't know whether you know the muruk. I mean, it is made of rice.
We know.
So she likes it, but even though she don't even have teeth, and she grind it and eat it. That
exactly.
passion towards it. There those people only see.
At
How
that
we-
age, let them have what they want and let them enjoy the little pleasures until their death. Don't try to teach them.
Okay.
Okay. Sarveshwarji, you want to read, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Hari Om, denunciation of time. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. In this world of essenceless objects, time, like a rat, continues to destroy the networks of human expectations. It is folly to desire any object of this world that is dominated by time. There is no object that is not destroyed by time. There is no condition that is not devoured by time. Time consumes numerous worlds. Though unseen, time continues to express itself through age, year, month, day, hour, and minute. Time continues to overpower the whole world. Great and glorious men have been devoured by time, as snakes are devoured by Garuda bird. This time is very cruel, stone-hearted, and miserly. There is nothing in the world which will not be devoured by time.
Okay. Amen.
He is describing what the time is. It is a relentless. No matter what happens, time cannot be stopped. And I'm reminded of this, the famous that we all know, that every heartbeat of yours takes you closer to the grave. We don't realize that, how true it is. I mean, every second we're losing. It is time and your age.
Yeah.
That's what he is describing here.
Yeah.
And but then I wanted to comment something on the previous stanza where there was a mention of many embodiments and then self-realization. Rama's, on the previous one. I wanted to comment, but I just want to say that I was reminded of Vivek Chudamani, that we take refuge in that. Oh, okay. I was reminded of the stanza Muktirno Shatakoti Janma Sukruta Palayar Vinala Bhete, and Manushyatvam, Mumukshatvam, Mahapurusha Samsraya. These are all, we take refuge in that stanza. It beautifully describes how, even though all that we are said, and Sri Rama finally describes how he wants to, after how many embodiments we have gone through, we have to look at the self-realization. That was mentioned in the previous stanza. And I just wanted to bring that up. That was mentioned.
Good. Very nice. Vijay, you want to continue?
Hari Om Raghuji. From which paragraph? I'm sorry.
Page 80.
Page 80.
Page 80, second one, a magician.
Got it. A magician creates various objects by his magic and then destroys them. In the same way, this time continues to dance in the form of world process, creating diverse conditions and destroying them. Just as a parrot pecks into the pomegranate and eats its inner content, so time continues to eat the content of this cosmos, all objects and living beings. This time, like a mad elephant having a tusk in the form of good and evil, continues to trumpet in this world of destruction of all that has been created. This world process, which is sustained by the substratum of Brahman, is pervaded by time. Every object or condition is born, allowed to grow and decay in and through the movement of time.
Yeah.
So again, he is giving a bunch of examples of how time consumes samsara.
Right.
And again, in a sense, he's also talking about Nitya Pralaya kind of a thing. Not exactly, where what you're seeing is being born and destroyed, born and destroyed, born and destroyed. So, but he's giving a bunch of examples with the parrot and the elephant and a magician and everything over here. Thank you.
Yeah. Everything in time is perishable, including our own body that he himself showed from childhood to the old age and death. And so only way that you can overcome that, all that, is go beyond time, that is realize that you are that Brahman who is beyond time. So, okay.
But Raghuji, I thought okay, time is kind of relative, right? So time is just considered as a dimension only, right? So
Right.
how okay, of course, body grows, but that is actually a natural process. Then how the time is actually, of course, yeah, as time passes, things actually goes from good to bad. But we can't just say time is actually in a bad perspective, right? Can we?
I didn't get it because the everything is in the world of names and forms are relative.
Yeah.
Okay, one is lives for 100 years, another one might live for 1,000 years, one for live for only a few days. Okay.
True.
But everything ultimately perishes in time.
Right. But see, in earlier our discussion was how about our youth and the inefficiencies or what is that called, inabilities of our bodies and capabilities and our own minds play. That is actually nothing to do with the time, right?
Yeah, everything is a continuous flow.
Yes,
Without
but
time,
yeah.
there is no activity in the world.
True. I mean, yeah, see, there is there is only now is only available, right? Nothing, we don't have future and we don't have past either. So for us, it is always now. That now also it is passes. But my question is, why we want to denounce time? All other thing I understood, but this time, why we need to denounce? Because time has nothing to do about our way of life or not understanding my true real nature. So time actually just I
So
don't know how.
whatever that you are attached to in this world, okay, is taken away by time. So nothing you are attached. See, first he talked about your own body.
Yes.
The mind. Now he's talking in time, in terms of the world. The so-called the world, okay, is we say it is always there, but it's constantly changing. Nothing that you are attached to remains the same. It's transient.
That's yeah, that is true. But that is not time is linear. It just keep moving, and we don't have anything to do with it, right? All our
if you don't see any activity changing, okay, then there's really no time.
there is no time. Yeah, I understand that.
Sudhirji, if I may interject, I think here he's not talking about bad or good. He's talking more on a Nashwara. It is not Sthira. It is not Achala. Things of that kind. as far as the time is concerned. If you want to compare it to be how something is bad, you can think it this way as well, right? A happy moment of your time, happy moment of your life is not going to be the next minute or next second or next hour. So the time is going.
Yeah, but that is my ignorance on time. Time is just passing. Okay.
I agree with you. You are 100% right. So it is the objects of the world are just there. They do not have anything like likes and dislikes. So it is we who attach likes and dislikes. The same way for the various objects of the world, okay? And then if we get attached, oh, we get worried. Oh, what happens tomorrow? It's gone. But if you have a proper understanding of time, hey, it is a constant changing world, and this body is changing, and I am in this constantly changing world, and you look at it in an objective way, then you don't have any problem.
Yeah.
Raghuji, probably when we talk about time, Kala, are we probably, does it indicate that you have to raise your thoughts beyond the transactional world? Because time, I would relate it to your action, to the karma. So the more you raise your thoughts, you are raising your, the level of thinking beyond the transactional world.
Beyond the transactional world is nothing but Brahman. To realize that is self-realization.
Yeah, that's why even I see, Raghuji, what Sudhirji is mentioning, it is, you are limited. What are the actions you perform, the karma you perform is within that time period, the present moment. So there is a relativity of time involved in that. But I think the context is go beyond the transactional way of thinking.
So you have to have in the background of your mind that you are that eternal, pure consciousness, Satchidananda Atman. And look at the time and all that in an objective way and have fun. Not being attached to it. So if tomorrow the body drops, you're not worried because you don't realize so many bodies drop. Just like that, this body also drops. But I am the pure Atman in which all this is happening. So that's why Lord Krishna beautifully says in the 10th chapter, 11th chapter Bhagavad Gita, who are you? I am Kalosmi. I am that Kala. Okay? And I devour everything. Lord Krishna was saying that Ishvara, okay, Brahman with Maya is that Kala. And in that Kala, things are being born, things are being dying. So, but if you go beyond that Maya, that you realize your real nature. Okay, Vishwa, you want to read?
Sorry, Raghuji, Hari Om. I'll skip this one.
What did you say, Vishwa?
Sorry, Raghuji, I'll skip this turn. I'll do the next.
Okay. Very good. Then Akhilamma.
There is none as cruel as time, none as greedy as time, none as fickle and inauspicious as time. Just as children play with their balls in the courtyard, so this time plays with the balls of sun and moon in the courtyard of that vast blue sky. Time, with its consort destiny, based on karmic fructifications of the individual souls, continues to dance for the purpose of sport and amusement. Thousands of ages pass by, but this time is unaffected. It neither rejoices nor grieves. It neither rises nor sets.
I'll read one more.
Time continues to sweep this creation with the ancient broom of dark night, like a greedy person who continues to collect gold from the golden sands. Time is never satisfied with its repeated sweeping over the world process. I like how it said, it gave the characteristics of the time, Raghuji, that it's,
Yeah.
It's neither inauspicious nor auspicious, it's fickle. It's beautiful. And we've been trained to think otherwise. So,
yeah. So if you look at it objectively and you have fun, but if you are involved in it and complain, then naturally you suffer. So, very good. I think I missed the Shirisha Iyer. You want to read, Amma?
Hari Om. Yes, I can read.
Go ahead.
Um, this time is so greedy. Is it the correct paragraph?
No.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, that is the one. This time is so greedy. Yes.
Yes. This time is so greedy that clasping the very sun as a lamp in its fingers of activity, it continues to seek out every object under the sun to appease its hunger. Time, using the sun as its eye and day and night as its eyelids, continues to discover objects that are ripe for destruction.
Finish it up, Amma. Finish up the
This,
whole thing.
this cruel time sacrifices the four-horned sheep of the world process at the altar of the sky, and it continues to lick the drops of blood that are scattered in the form of shining stars. Mountain, ocean, the sky, and the earth, these are the four horns of the sheep of the world process. This time is the destroyer of youth and life. Its mysterious movements are beyond the reach of human reason. It assumes positive and pleasing aspects in accordance with the fructification of good karmas. It gives rise to negative conditions when evil karmas fructify in a person. Time is dominating the whole world. It is the mightiest of all creation. O sage, I want to attain that self where time is transcended and endless freedom is realized.
Yeah. Want to comment?
There's a lot of imagery about time, describing it like sun as the eye, day and night as eyelids, and further down it talks about it licks the drops of blood that are scattered in the form of shining stars. If good karmas fructify, when good karmas bear fruit, time has a positive aspect, but when bad karmas show their results, then it's negative.
Yeah. Both positive and negative, both are transitory. So just like Lord Krishna says in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, so this too will pass. Nothing is permanent. The bad times, okay, just wait. The good times will come. So don't don't get carried away by the good times, saying, "Oh, I achieved this," because that too will pass. So if you have that right attitude and be equanimous, that is self-realization. And once you're self-realized, then the whole world is a drama. So
I think one more comment on that, that the time don't stop for anything and it actually keep moving forward. Whatever happens in the world, it is kind of uh, it continues to seek on every object under the sun. It is just keep moving. Whatever happens, you don't have control over it, right?
yeah. Even the so-called the five elements, at the end of time, all of them get absorbed back. So nothing stays the same. Very good. So let's go to the next one, chapter section 24. So Anjaneyulu sir. Anjaneyulu, you are muted. He's not there. Okay. Dinesh ji, you want to read?
Yes, the transitoriness of the world. This world is a sporting ground for an evil prince, the time spirit Kala, and his terrible consort, the spirit of darkness, Kala Ratri. Numerous creatures exist to entertain this prince during his dreadful dance. The surging waters of deluge exist as a pleasure pond for the prince. This dismal pond is further beautified by lotuses in the form of submarine fires of destruction. Even mighty personalities that roar like lions are reduced to the condition of a frightened bird that must inevitably become a prey to the hawk of time. This time spirit is constantly flinging darts of sorrow on all sides, while his dreadful bow of death bends with the thundering claps of destruction. This earth, with its surging oceans and numerous creatures, is just a bowl of wine dressed and flavored with various spices for the amusement of time. So we are still talking about the time, and it continues to roll forward. People come and go, having good time, not having so good time. It just basically, it doesn't stop for anything. And I think the essence of all this is really for one to realize that what you were saying earlier, this too will pass, to not get attached to the things that we encounter in our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Fully realizing that we will end up losing them.
I like that sentence. Even the mighty personalities that roar like lions are reduced to the condition of a frightened bird. So,
Raghuji, what is that meaning of, see that the previous, para, the surging of waters of deluge exist as a pleasure pond for the prince, that I got it. But that, what does that mean? This dismal pond is further beautified by lotuses in the form of submarine fires of destruction. What exactly is that mean?
you know, in the ocean itself, there are volcanoes.
Yes.
And so apparently, even those days, they knew that the volcanoes erupt even in the ocean. And so he's taking that example and saying that like that the human passions are like that, so erupting in our time.
Okay.
So isn't the picture on the left side there shows Lord Shiva doing
Nataraj.
Lord Nataraja.
Right.
Basically, that is the time when it's time for the pralaya, correct?
Yeah. So he's supposed to have a dance of creation and a dance of destruction.
Yeah.
So very good. So who is supposed to read next? Let me see my list. Dinesh and Karpagam. Karpagam, you want to read, Amma?
The dance of the time spirit. No one has seen this time spirit, yet he continues to destroy all creatures. Just as the burning rays of the sun melt the icy summits of the mountains, so this time spirit continues to destroy all. The world is the dancing ground of time, who assumes the role of destiny and death to perform diverse forms of dreadful dances. This time spirit is intensely infatuated with his consort, destiny. As time dances, human beings are led to experience the fruitification of their karmas.
Yeah. Want to comment?
Well, the time is, it's like it's a dancing ground for the death. It just keep going on and on like that.
Yeah, the time goes on, it doesn't wait for anybody, but it is our bad karmas in the past that fructify, that give bad results. And then we say, oh, it is my prarabdha, oh, it is a fate. It's not really a fate, it is the result of our bad actions in the past. But if you do good actions, if you not worry about it and do good actions now and look at the world objectively, then we will have good results in the future. So we can change our so-called the destiny. Manavamma, you want to finish the chapter?
Okay. With the sun and moon as bracelets, the blue sky as his garment decked with stars, and the deluge clouds as his skirts, this time spirit continues to dance unceasingly. My God, the language is something else. The goddess of destiny joins her lord in his terrible dance. She wears skulls for the garland, and her feet are planted in hellish regions. The hell fires form the trinklets on her feet. She dances and reels at the mere gaze of her husband, while the mountains crack and crash at the sound of her feet. Like a child making sandcastles by the seashore, this time spirit continues to create worlds inhabited by different creatures, complete with mountains and oceans and established with different cultural patterns, only to dissolve them again for a new creation. The last one says it all, actually. The other two, just talking about in a dramatic way of what is going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just, can I bring, just leave it on. I just want to show that there's a beautiful book on time by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I highly recommend people, have a look at. It says the power of now. And it is the time that keeps the light from reaching us. The light, he means the realization of the Lord. There is no greater obstacle to God than time. What he means is that our thoughts were mostly, they're all made up of the past and the past things that we all had all our life, and our anxieties of the future. We don't want to really think about now. Now is the time that God has given us. And all this other time is what takes away the whole mental capacity that's given to us. So the real world that we're not looking at as God himself, he has presented it and now what we're looking at it, that is God. And we're trying to reach something which we don't know, and we're trying to forget what we have already experienced and what our anxieties are. That's what we try to do in meditation and all that. So it's a very beautifully written book.
Probably you should have a study group for that also.
Oh, yeah. Eckhart Tolle is the guy who wrote it.
So Sarveshwar ji can be the moderator and we can have a steady group.
Absolutely. This thing you can read for almost an hour and you'll never be tired. It is
That's
so
nice.
beautiful.
Very nice. Geeta has read it, but I haven't had time to read it. So, so when I go to India, probably on the plane, I will probably I should.
Yeah, just hold on to it. You'll enjoy it.
Right. Thank you. Very good. And Mano, Amma, you want to read, Amma?
I just read.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nag, you want to read?
The evils of perishability. We are like deer caught in the enchanting devices of this trapper, time. We are like slaves sold to the spirit of destiny. This time spirit is ever involved in appeasing its insatiable hunger. It hurls people into the world process which abounds with adversities. Just as a snake swallows air, so this cruel time takes and devours youthfulness from the body, rendering it aged and old. It is the embodiment of cruelty. I think they are trying to warn us, if you want to do something, do it now. The time is going to consume. So if you want to practice spirituality, do it now. Don't wait for the weekend.
Exactly. You got it 100% right. You hit it on the head.
That's true.
Okay. Let me see. I think the next is Maya. Can you read?
Yes, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
In this world, there is no one who is endowed with a perfect form of prosperity. Every attainment by a mortal being is perishable and pretty. The objects of enjoyment are hinders and their inner depths. They give rise to endless miseries. Life is fickle. Death lurks to devour it. Youth is fleeting. Childhood is veiled by illusion. Bound by the ropes of attachment, people are tied to various relationships. The enjoyments of the world are expressions of the great disease of ignorance. The desires for pleasure are like mirages and scintillating in the burning deserts.
Yeah.
So here he's comparing that world is full of miseries and all the in a life like a fickle and time and death is waiting, can be any time, and so I guess and then he's talking about the attachments. Of course, we all have attachments. Beside this, I just wanted to say one thing. If we can really always realize it, what is happening around us, our loved ones are like a gone one, and the people we know, if we realize only, they were there, now they are no longer there. What happened to their body? We should learn from that what we should be doing, not to worried about the too much of relationship or body or anything else. Just think about the God, and so you will know what will happen after you are gone. Your body will be burned just like others. So not to worry about telling other people. I think everybody should realize to do things for themselves. That's all my
Yeah, you got it. Perfect. Very nice. Rakesh, you want to read, sir?
Hari Om. The senses are one's enemies. The self-effulgent Brahman, the Absolute, is veiled by ignorance. Mind enchains the soul. By false identification, the mind becomes a basis of painful experiences. Egoism taints the taintless soul. The thought waves of mind are distracted and restless. The intellect is devoid of spiritual insight into the nature of the self. The senses are directed towards the pleasures of the world. No one is happy in his heart. The clouds of misery have overcast and fermented of the mind. The disease of attachment continues to flourish day by day. The ability to glimpse the self has been obscured by the dust clouds of rajas, the principle of activity. The darkness of tamas, the principles of obscurity and ignorance, is increasing. Life is very unstable, yet the hankering for perishable objects continues to increase in the minds of the man. Hari Om. Now they're talking about the enemies and they're talking about like how the egoism taints the taintless soul, and we really get carried away. We just don't pay any attention. And nowadays, people are more towards, instead of sattvic, going towards rajas and tamas, and they are like a cover up the soul. And we got behind that. We are not able to get the goal we want to go. So unless we are trying to get ourselves in a spiritual insight, get the reading of the scriptures, practicing meditation, do all that, we will just going to be trapped away like they're talking about in this last stanza. Hari Om.
He goes through the gunas beautifully. So sattva releases, rajas and tamas continues to bind us. And so we should constantly remember and go from tamas and rajas to the sattva. As the sattva predominates, our contemplation on Brahman and withdrawal from the world of objects will become more successful. Okay, who is next? Sudhirji, you want to read, sir?
Yes. Youth is fleeting. Good association, which could end the painful experiences of life, is not adapted. People are not inclined to the pursuit of truth. Their heart is veiled by delusion. They do not feel joyous at the happiness of others. The shining virtue of compassion has fled from their hearts. Evil-mindedness is increasing day by day. Evil association is available at every step. Good association is very rare. The desires do not dissolve even when the desired objects have perished. Death continues to drive flocks of people to the regions of the unknown. Even the directions shrink. The oceans dry up. The mountains are brought to dust. How can I develop faith in this steadiness of life?
Finish it up.
Even mighty personalities are destroyed by God. Even the immortal gods perish. How then can I trust my fleeting life? The time devours Indra, the king of gods. It destroys the good god of death himself. It destroys the sun and the moon. So how can I hope for my continued existence? He alone is happy whose intellect is devoted to the good of others and is enlightened by wisdom. But those who are overpowered by ignorance continue to perish as the wheel of time goes on revolving. This is just giving, I think, the situation of a common man who, say, as he says that nothing is actually waiting for you, and because of the attachment to the world, and we are actually running behind the pleasures of the world, and while doing that, we don't have good association, and we faces painful experiences, and we are actually really seeking the truth even and the directions which we are actually getting is also not right. So in that, then this is, I think, Rama Bhagavan Sri Rama is actually just giving at least. While reading this, I just want to go a little bit deviation. Sri Rama was actually lived in Treta Yuga. Sorry, yeah, Treta Yuga, right?
Right.
So then that time I thought, okay, people were actually more towards more noble and right. So how he's talking about the current world. I can take it for the current one. Okay, that is one question. Leave that there. At least no. For the current world, what we hear it is everybody is running behind and they are not really understanding. Nobody gets good direction. Even if you give good direction, because of our attachment to the worldly affair, we are actually not seeing the truth. And so, but what they say that you have to um, happy whose intellect is devoted to the good of others. I mean, whoever is actually happy to see the goodness in others and or is enlightened by the wisdom or knowledge only will thrive, right? That's what I understood.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as what you said about Treta Yuga, people were good and all that I don't want to make any comments because I haven't read anything more about it than now. Of course, more people probably were sattvic then than now, but all sorts of people of different degrees are there in every yuga. So it's just a question of percentages, I guess. So.
Okay.
Very good. Anybody want to make any final comments? So you can see everything was about our what happens to our body with time and what happens to the world with time. Both the microcosmic with the body and macrocosmic with the world and the whole universe.
That last paragraph it says, okay, get enlightened by wisdom and don't get overpowered by ignorance. That is
correct.
what that too.
So that is the essence of the whole thing. So go beyond.
I just want to add one thing here. I just want to read from the Eckhart Tolle that as long as the egoic mind is running your life, you cannot truly be at ease. You cannot be at peace or fulfilled except for brief intervals when you obtain what you wanted. So it's the time that is controlling us. The ego wants the time and the experience.
Yeah.
So that's what.
We think we have a long time, but only when you reach the old age and you look back and say, oh, I was in medical school just yesterday. Like
one thing I actually, I would say I just started practicing is, in any action, I'm just trying to find out the I-ness of it, right? In that, where that, because of I took a decision, that actually, kind of helping me to not repeat it.
Good. That's the most important thing. Continue to evaluate ourselves. Don't get depressed, but continue to learn and think positive. So, very good. So we will skip next week and we will meet in 2 weeks.
Raghu, going to have any break for New Year?
Right, that's what I said. We are going to meet in January.
January, when is it?
January 2nd is okay?
Second. First is a holiday.
Right.
Second. Everybody is okay with that, or you want to meet after that week?
After that week could be better, I think, because people will be traveling. So I don't know. So
yeah, okay.
So how many people are not able to attend January 2nd?
I have no way of knowing.
Huh? Everybody can attend?
No.
I can
No more.
No.
We're here, right? Okay. Yeah, we're here.
Okay. So we will go ahead and have it in 2 weeks. Okay.
I'm here, Raghuji. Yeah.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om,
Hari Om.
everybody, and
Om. Have happy holidays.
happy holidays
Happy New
to
Year.
all,
Happy
everybody.
holidays and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone. Hari Om.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, everyone. Hari Om, Raghuji. Happy New Year to everyone.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari.
Raghuji, you are going to India. Have a good trip. Then see you when you come back. Right? Are you going to India?
Me?
Yeah.
I thought you invited me for dinner in your house.
I know. That's why I'm asking. You were just saying that when you'll go to India, you'll read that book. So I thought you were going to India. How can you maybe come back in a week?
I'm not. No, I don't have any. I don't have any flights. I said when I'm traveling, I will. That's all. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's why I want to make sure. No,
Hari
we'll
Om,
see you.
Raghuji. Hari
We'll
Om.
see you on
Hari
29th.
Om.
Okay.
Okay.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.